I'm Ellen McCauley at Pray It Up, and right now we're talking about how to commit to yourself. You must learn a new way to think before you can master a new way to be. When I started Pray It Off, God said to me, I will help you if you help other people. I fought anxiety and depression most of my life, but I was so busy doing this group, working, doing everything. I didn't have a lot of time to feel depressed and anxious. I was just too busy. The more you do for other people, the less time you worry about your own, I'm not worthy, and oh, my life stinks, and I'm a piece of crap, and I'm fat, and I'm this, and I'm that. You do stuff for others, and it just evolved. All of a sudden, it's 10 years later, and we're still doing this, and my faith is so much stronger. I say the rosary every day. I read the Bible every day, and I just love it. I do the rosary and say the Bible because I love doing those things. My life is more faith-centered than food-centered. Food keeps my body going, but faith heals my soul. You have to identify your wounds so the medicine of love can be applied correctly. And I have identified my wounds over the years. You know, I felt like there was so much in my life that I couldn't control. You know, I had a loving mother, and my dad, I loved him so much, but he was a terrible alcoholic, and I just couldn't control our environment, but I could control eating, or so I thought. And my sister had a brain injury, so they would call us retards, and I wanted to prove I wasn't a retard, and there was so much pressure with that. And I healed those wounds over time. I healed that because God loved me. A way to repair a broken childhood is to allow God to reparent you. If you're fighting with your weight right now because of issues of your past, God is standing there going, I love you. I want to be your parent. And it reminds me of a Mother Angelica story where a woman called into her show. I love Mother Angelica. I love her. God rest her soul. And the woman said how bad her mother was, and she went on and on about the terrible, terrible things her mother did to her and how her life was in shambles. And Mother Angelica said, I'm your mother now. I'm your mother. And I thought about the Blessed Virgin, and I thought about Jesus. He's our brother. God's our Father. We are not alone. We no longer need to model anyone's neglect of us. We only need to model God's love for us. And you might be sitting there, some of the new people's going, but what am I supposed to eat? We all know what to eat. Does anyone not know Whopper with cheese, salad? Pick. All right, let me see. Is the Whopper bad for you? I'm not sure. I think we are sure. Half gallon of ice cream, watermelon, blueberries, strawberries. What do I pick? I have no idea. Ellen didn't tell me. We just need to eat clean, eat healthy. But we need to address those parts of ourselves. There are people that join this group after suffering tremendous losses in their life. Tremendous debilitating losses. Then they put on weight during those losses. And joining the group, they began to heal themselves through God's love and their love of self so that they didn't need to have the food to fill that empty spot. You will learn to be there for yourself, and in a moment when you are there for yourself, you simply do not want to behave self-destructively. I have had so much pizza in my life, I don't miss it. You think poor Ellen, boy, she hasn't had pizza in a long time. I feel bad for her. Don't feel bad for me. I don't want it. I do not. Give me cauliflower rice with broiled scallops. Has anyone here never had cauliflower rice? Oh my gosh, it's so good. Does anyone love it as much as me? Does anyone want to marry it as much as me? I love it. You have to try it. Also, I want to talk about that darn food log, because that food log will teach you a lot about your eating habits. First of all, I want to salute Tony. Tony is table 1, and he had to be a remote member to take care of a family member, but Tony watches the blog religiously. And a little while ago, he sent me 1 year's worth of food logs. And he said, Ellen, I know you won't read these, but I'm sending them to you to let you know that it is so ingrained in me. He lost 50 pounds, and he's kept those 50 pounds off. And let's hear it for Tony. Tony, we miss you! And he kept those 50 pounds off because he's addicted to the food log. I am addicted. No one looks at my food logs, no one. But I'm out there writing down mustard, oil and vinegar, O and V. I write it down like I'm going to get a quiz on it. And I will ask people who want to go one step further and write the time you eat, to write who you're with, to write how you're feeling. If you write down a bag of cookies and then you write down there, got audited by the IRS, I would say, okay, I get it. But, if you want to write down motivations and times, I also, when I started Pray It Off, decided I was just going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, no snacks. And that's worked very well for me. And I find that that's when you get in trouble with the SNACKSS. Because you're like, I'm kind of hungry. You know what you are? Kind of bored. Think about that. Also, who's your dining companions? Are you going out with people who are going, have another, have another, have another, have another? Also, watch how much you're eating. I like people who write a cup of this, a half a cup of this. But we have many people who write down things like bread. So I say to myself, does that mean they had the whole loaf? Does that mean they had one slice? And then there are people, and we've talked about this before, who write down a few fries. Now, I think a few fries are what, 4 or 5 maybe? Whereas they might be thinking a few fries is 50 because they usually have 100. So be specific. And my favorite is Thanksgiving dinner. That could be just about anything, and it usually is. Also, the length of the meal. If you write down that you started dinner at 5 and you finished at 5:03 and there's a ton of food there, you're eating a little fast. But if we eat together and I say to Bob, how was your day? And I usually ask him that first because I can eat while he talks. And then he says, how was your day? And then I tell him. But eat together and talk about it. Also, how do you feel after eating certain foods? If you're having a bowl of ice cream and an hour later you feel like a little nauseous and some palpitations, maybe you have a dairy thing. If you're eating something and you have a headache, maybe there's an allergic reaction thing. Think about how you feel. And also another thing is eating clean. Eating clean means if you're eating something and the list of ingredients is that long and it's got soda, butter, and the things that you can't even pronounce, your body doesn't know what to do with those things and they go to your fat cells. And you never lose your fat cells. They're always there waiting. Hey, can you fill me up again? And they gladly do that for you if you let them. So try to eat clean. Also, one of my favorite things is, I don't know if it's in this article or if I skip by it, is, this I did. They did a survey and people eat 30% more than what they think they ate. And my favorite is 12% of the people they were surveyed said they didn't eat any bread, when on camera it showed them eating bread and they denied having any because they just blocked it out. I didn't have any bread. Well, here you are on camera eating that bread. So be careful what you're eating and what you write down. Also the white lies. What do you think I'm going to do? Fire you? Tell Father Mano behind your back, bless me, Father, I've sinned, but wait to hear what this person in my group wrote on their food log? I'm not going to tell anybody. The point of a food log isn't to judge or police yourself or even to grade yourself. It's to learn about yourself, which is the first step towards adopting a healthy change that sticks. Also, I gave you there's 14 days of clean eating menu plan. So if you want to know what to eat, I gave you 7 days, and next week I'll give you 7 more days. And you might sit there and go, wait a minute, this says carrot and cucumbers and avocado. I don't eat that crap. Well, maybe you should start. And it's got muesli, which is like a grain cereal. Kashi sells it. I even put in a green smoothie recipe. If you've never had a green smoothie, here's a recipe. Bananas, apple, kale leaves, orange juice, water, ice cubes, flaxseed. Bing, bang, boom, there you go. And that's a nice meal replacement. Also, I put in tricks for fall fitness. Fall breezes. One of the things I want to mention is that I work for the Onondaga County Office for Aging, and because I work there, they've offered to do a walking program for just Pray It Off people. I'm looking for 10 people, and it's either going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. It can be a half hour to 2 hours, whatever you're up for. And I'm asking people to sign up tonight, and you just circle the times that are best for you and a suggested location. You might say, hey, let's walk at Gilly Lake, or let's walk at Camillus Park. And if I get 10 people, we'll do it. It's free. It's taught by a certified Walk with Ease instructor, all free, and it's focused on walking with pain or arthritis. So if you are in pain, they will help you through that if you've got arthritis. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. One of the big things about this article is plan your meals on Sunday. A lot of the problems that people have with eating is that they don't plan ahead, and so they're tired, they're exhausted, and they'll say, let's just order out. Let's just do this. But if you buy your groceries and you plan ahead, that's important. I'm going to play a song now, and the song is called It's Your Life. And that's whose life it is, yours. And I want to surround you with love. I want to surround you with the healing love of God. And let's prayerfully listen to the song and listen to the lyrics. I mean, read along with the lyrics.